Let's freaking go, Tennessee fans. I'm actually in Fayetteville, Arkansas, for the LSU game, and it is 3 in the morning, and I am just now getting to watch you guys doing what you did to Alabama. We've got to break it down. I'm staying up all night because I'm so freaking pumped up for you guys. Then you get to hear, and obviously this is just a mistake that Dylan Sampson's rarely ever going to make. This is such really good design. You're pulling these guys. Linebackers are taught to follow the pullers, and you're actually running in the opposite direction of it, right? My favorite thing about these kind of plays, and Lane Kiffin's been really good at designing these kinds of runs, is none of your offensive linemen have to execute a single block, right? It's the design of this misdirection that opens this up, and that makes it very sexy, okay? So that is just really good scheming from a really good play caller. Look at all these guys fooled just by those two pullers. That's obviously a good tendency breaker, but then Dylan Sampson makes a huge mistake, and, you just feel terrible for him because, he's been pretty much your only offensive weapon these last couple of weeks. And Malachi Moore, just typical Bama DB making plays, and Alabama gets an early turnover. To pull off upsets, and obviously this isn't as big of an upset as it would be in years past, you have to go out there and make plays. And Milroe just does not throw this football well at all, and you just get a SportsCenter play right here from, Tennessee. I mean, look, Tennessee's DBs, so much trash has been said about them before the season, and they come out here in this game and put together a pretty good 4 quarters of football. Obviously, there were some lapses mixed in there, but, the only downside of, Jalen Milroe is he actually is pretty athletic, so he's pretty good at making, tackles on a pick six, and he was the one that ended up making this play, and it ended up being an absolutely massive, massive, massive play. So let's move ahead here to this comeback route to the backside, play action fake attached to it. Obviously, that's a big staple what Tennessee does. And NICO decides to work back here. Obviously, Lance Hurd has a tendency to lean, but, when you do these full field kind of reads, these plays are such long developers that sometimes you're just going to get beat in pass protection. But you do pick up a pretty nice gain right here. All right, so I'm not going to show the Gaston Moore interception for obvious reasons. He's a backup quarterback, right? So this is just really good design, again, from Josh Heupel. All right, so you fake like you're throwing this into the flat. The corner cheats on it. So now you have to read this double slant, right? You're supposed to read this inside out. So that's not there, so you inside out this, or it could go this to this to this. And obviously, you got to wait for this player to pass through this window. And that's exactly what NICO does. And he actually threw that ball a little high right there to Bru McCoy, but he makes a very nice catch. And Bru McCoy, of course, in this first half was absolutely massive. Let's get to the 2nd and 9. And obviously, Lance Hurd's pass sets have been very stiff. He can lean. He is a really, really, really bad leaner. But that's what you do. You give him some help, right? So NICO wants to once again work this outbreaker or this out to in breaker. And could this have been thrown right now? Yes. Okay. But you obviously want to play safe because this would be a pick six going the other way. So NICO decides to roll out to the left, and he's trying to find Bru McCoy. And eventually he does find him. Look at this arm angle to get around this guy. And look at the velocity on this throw as well. Bang on this upfield shoulder. That is why, NICO has some real upside in being the first quarterback taken and not this trap at the next. All right, so this is some of the worst quarterbacking you'll see in the SEC this season. And you give NICO a lot of credit bouncing back after this. Starts off looking to the left and decides to work back to the right. I wasn't able to get an extra angle to see if any of this was open, but the pass protection here is really good across the way. And now, as you roll it to the left, just throw this away, all right, or throw it to your check down when you're in a good pocket. So he tries to throw this football while he's getting hit. The problem is not necessarily that you got hit and threw this pick. It's that this wasn't even there to throw, right? So you throw a pick and, so 3rd and 4. I mean, this is huge. You're coming out of half. They're going to have the football in good field position. So what do? You run NICO's favorite route concept, okay? I once again prefer to read this inside out. But if Bru McCoy is your go-to guy, which he is, you just got to live with it. Now, if you're Alabama, why are you playing this far off, right? You can get off the field here, okay? That's just too easy. That's cowardly defensive back play from our Alabama, and it's just tough. I don't get that defensive call at all. All right, NICO really has some issues processing at times, okay? So this honestly is not hard. I understand the protection breaks down, so you get a play action fake, and they're bringing a pretty exotic blitz. So once you see this, bang, this is where the ball should go, especially if we're looking to the right side and you see these DBs so far back and you see that they're bringing pressure. Just hit this. Just hit this, right? Once again, this should get picked up. And I understand that he saw this to the right, and he felt good about his protection going up against this blitz. So he wants to work backside to the comeback route. Bru McCoy's go-to guy. I get it, okay? But if you're going to work back here, just get over here and throw this, right? So NICO takes a bad sack, and I don't think he needed to take it, right? At this point, we could admit that Dylan Sampson is the SEC RB1, especially after Jaquindon Jackson had a tough game. Jarquez Hunter has the worst run blocking you'll see. This is a really good bounce read by him, but it's not really special, the bounce read. It's just blowing by the safety, right? Safety doesn't have the worst angle. You get a really good block right here on the corner right here from the wide receiver, I think Thompson or Thornton, and now it's just off to the races. It's just really, 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 really good run. Play of the game and probably play of the year from NICO. 2nd and 8, understanding time and situation, okay? This is really bad protection. You never want to give up unblocked A-gap pressure. And what happens here is 2 guys go with the B-gap players, so the guard, actually 3 guys let this guy go through. Not only did the running back, but the tight end right here. So Josh Heupel is going to chew this pass protection assignment out. Judging by the way this looks, I would guess the guard should have stayed with this DT on the A-gap player because he is the more important player than this blitzer. But NICO is in a lot of trouble here, especially when you think this should have been protected, okay? And Sampson's not ever going to make that block. Campbell, of course, going up against Campbell, this is a tough matchup, and NICO finds a way to squirt through it, right? Your single-digit playmakers have to step up and make plays, and I love this. DBs have not been able to figure out how to stop the fake throw. It always spooks them, and that is just absolutely nasty right there from NICO. Okay, obviously this isn't really his game, but it's something he does bring to Tennessee. And, you know, for a second you thought he was potentially going to score right here, and he finds himself all the way deep into the red zone. Good stuff. And then this is Tennessee football, baby. Smash mouth tackle football, bringing 2 tight end quasi fullbacks. And God, this is a good block right here for Mays. Okay, just stuck with the DT and was able to get that in. Good stuff. Y'all, let's call a spade here. NICO's been not good, all right? But this game, he was the best quarterback in the SEC this week, right? You know, I've taken some heat for how high I had NICO rated a few years ago and how badly I wanted him to be the starter last year. It's because of things like this, man. Rolling out to his right, he's special. He's just special. Look at this 3rd and 6. Look at this ball location. It is a thing of freaking beauty. I mean, look at that. Catches him right in stride. Just superb quarterback play. I mean, there really isn't anything. It was just a rollout and a go ball, and it's just nasty. Of course, you pound this thing in. Man, this is a good block on the right side. Cooper Mays had a really good game for Alabama in the run game. Man, this has been an issue for Tennessee in the run game. Like you saw this versus Arkansas. All right, you sometimes have 2 guys doing the same role. All right, so it looks like Pearce's job is this gap, but you'll see that he swipes this tight end past him, and 14 has contained as well, and that opens up this gap in the running game. And the safety over the top is helping out with Milroe. Okay, what I'm thinking here is Milroe's just creating all this gravity for Justice Haynes just to run right through there. It's bad run fitting, and Alabama takes the lead. All right, let's move ahead here. Y'all, it's Dylan Sampson again. And the middle of this Tennessee offensive line, you know, they had a bad game versus Arkansas. They were really good versus Alabama. I mean, they honestly kicked their asses in the run game. And Cooper Mays was phenomenal in the run game. The bottom line If you want to pull off upsets, you just got to make plays. And honestly, this is just guys making plays. All right. NICO sees a play action. He sees that it's a middle of the field close safety, so you want to work the slot fades, right? If it's cover one, slot fade, okay? So the thing about slot fades is they are very efficient throws because they're quick, right? You don't need the protection to be great, and it's also a vertical route concept. The problem is they're just hard to complete, right? It's a hard catch to make. You got to get vertical over the top of a DB, and the ball needs to be thrown at an angle. You don't want this ball to be thrown on a line forward. You want it to be thrown this way. And look at where NICO puts this. Look at this. Bang. All right, and that's an excellent catch right there. Is that Chris Brazzel? Let's go, Chris. Two-lane green wave, baby. Let's go. And it's a clean catch when they're not even doing the incomplete sign. That is really good stuff. I mean, look at this. Look at this. My God. Chris, are you freaking kidding me, bro? Bring it in. Got the turf tape going on. Gotta freaking love it. Look at that. I mean, that is so clean. In the biggest games, you need your biggest players to make big plays. All right, this is risky on this 3rd and 10 that James Pearce got this good of a jump off the jump, okay? Either way, if you want to call it offsides, you can. It looks like just a good jump to me. So he's able to swim on the good jump. And watch him shoestring this. Jalen Milroe might still be running if he doesn't make that play. He makes it, and it saves the game. Final play of the game. Let's go. Smoke him if you got him. Man, I wish LSU had a cigar game. I've never smoked a cigar. It gave me an excuse. I'm definitely going to go to this game a few years from now. I've got to see a 3rd Saturday in October. Jalen Milroe locks in on his target, which is nothing new. And 35, who had the pick 6 earlier this year, makes the play. Man, y'all, Josh Heupel's just a real deal. I mean, there's just no other way around. I mean, the guy just is squeezing a lot more out of this roster than what we saw over the past couple of weeks. And look, a lot of it was NICO just stepping up and making plays, right? Obviously, we covered some negative plays, but, man, this guy showed you what he could truly be. And, yeah, it was still rough around the edges, but you see the upside that this guy gives this program. And, it's just one of those things where Tennessee is right in the thick of the college football playoff. I mean, look, you lost a game versus Arkansas. It is what it is. And now you are sitting better than Alabama. Okay, so let me know what you guys think down below, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? Obviously, I didn't turn this around as quickly as possible. I was in a pretty crazy state of mind when I caught pieces of this game. So
let's freaking go!
I've got to get to a game to Tennessee next year, okay? It is Power Hour SEC. Boom! So my wife is actually in the bed over there. I gotta be quiet. Tonight, we are doing... we had some 3 a.m. Taco Bell delivered. Let's go. Rocky Top, you'll always be. Let's go.